Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the INvets Mission Possible. Okay. New Mission Mindset.
What is it?
New Mission.
Yeah, our podcast. Jesse named it New Mission Mindset.
Come on, Jesse. Why?
It's hard. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome back to the INvets New Mission Mindset podcast. We are here today with James Messer, one of our veteran engagement managers. You guys know me. I'm Victoria, another veteran engagement manager. And our guest today is Kelly Friend, who is one of our board members, but we're going to let her introduce herself first to kind of get the ball rolling. So, hey, Kelly, thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here today. It's good to see you both.
Yeah. We love seeing you.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
I know. I'm excited to be here and talk about INvets and the mission and hopefully what we're going to do together in the future.
Absolutely.
So a little bit about myself. My name is Kelly Friend. I work for a consulting company called TPMA, where I concentrate in workforce and education. But my career has been spanned in higher education, former teacher.
What grade did you teach?
Oh, I taught high school.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So you're the fun high school teacher.
Yeah, for about 7 years.
Wow, I could not do it.
Yeah. So shout out to Lafayette.
Nice. Like, shout out.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Really focusing on the veteran transition journey and really understanding how that comes to be.
Yeah.
And the work that needs to be done at a community level, at a state level, with all the key partners.
Well, I know you're so connected with so many people everywhere because every time I call you, I'm like, I need a connection here, and you have it, which is fantastic. And we got connected a while back from the prior CEO, Blaine, so that way we could work on the stand downs here in Michiana, which is awesome. And you started those and ran those, you know what I mean, and how to make them more fun and to get more transitioning service members to attend them. Yeah. It was so great working with you for all of those, starting 2024.
Yeah, I think on our stand downs for Northern Indiana, we're on our 12th year.
Wow.
So, and that story really began with a group of Marines. So you met Ernie, three of us, right?
Ernie, yep. Hey, Ernie.
Yeah.
You better watch this.
Exactly, right? My origin story starts with you, sir.
Yeah.
Right. And, the one in need to start putting stand downs in rural communities, where it is a VA desert, it's an education desert. How do those veterans be able to connect with the communities in which they live in and also get the services they need? So, yeah.
Right. So when you guys are saying stand downs, forgive my ignorance, right?
No.
So what do you mean by a stand down?
So stand downs started in the 1960s, 1970s. It really was inspired during the post-Vietnam era, where veterans would come home and they really didn't have a sense of community.
Okay.
They didn't have connection. So out in California, what they did is they brought in veterans, and then they brought in doctors, and then they brought in caregivers and resources and everything that you can think. In the homeless realm, there's showers and haircuts. Yeah. Anything that you think would just connect you a little bit back to
normalcy and the community that a lot of veterans kind of loathe for, that like they're looking for that connection to get back into it. And so that makes a lot of sense, and that sounds like a really, really great event. How often do you hold those?
So they usually run about April to October.
Okay.
In Northern Indiana.
Every county. Yeah. One in each county.
And there are so many other stand downs that are happening. And
I don't want you out of frame. Sorry.
Yeah.
Making her make sure she's
yeah. Sorry, I move and talk. So they're happening throughout the state. So absolutely get on the IDVA. They post those. And also a big thank you to DOL vets in the state of Indiana to processing those grant applications for us for all these years and being able to let us do this good work.
Right. Because you are not a veteran yourself, but you're connected to a lot of veterans, and you have veterans in your families.
Yeah.
And that's what the passion drives for you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I have close family members that are veterans. My mom was married to a Marine veteran. Yeah. His life ended early with suicide, so I got to watch my mom being a very young widow,
Right.
carrying that with her. And I think it really did shape her life. I mean, it shaped mine,
Right.
and these stories have just kind of lived.
So you are a dependent of a veteran. You lived with a veteran. You've been there in that situation, and that makes sense why you want to pay it forward so much, because it spark that flame, right, to wanting to give back.
Yeah, because there's, I feel like there was a lot of things that could have been avoidable.
Right.
Through stories and watching my mom go through that transition of being a widow, I knew now, what I know now as an adult is that she asked for a lot of help, but nobody knew how to help that situation.
Right.
Um,
There wasn't all the veteran PTSD resources and
No.
everything that even for widowed spouses of, fallen veterans or soldiers, what I mean? So it is really hard to see that.
And I think, I hate to say it, but I think, the beginning, September 11th is kind of what started changing a lot of things, and started putting a little bit more emphasis on not just the soldiers who were deployed or who lost their lives, but for the family members and how important it is and what kind of role that they take in ensuring success and the difficulties that they face afterwards.
Right.
So
because they have to stay behind when the spouse is going off to war, they have to maintain the house, take care of the kids.
I mean,
all of it.
It's always, thank you for your service. It's like, don't thank me. Don't thank me for my service. Thank my wife and my kids for their sacrifice, because they're the ones who endure it. We get to go away, and for me personally, like, I didn't put a whole lot of focus on what was going on at home, because I always saw that as a potential distraction for me, and I never wanted to focus on that. I knew that I had a great wife who was at home taking care of the bills, taking care of the kids, making sure that they were getting the education and all the other things that they needed, and I just didn't deal with it. So without great family members and understanding, I know that's a very tragic situation that you went through, but thank you now, because it's people like you who kind of put that focus towards the forefront and helps everybody else now. So
I think in the veteran transition, what you just pulled out, and what I always look for is, what is that military spouse, what does that family need after their service member exits,
right?
Because it's going to be the first time that I, as an outside person, looks at it and like, this is a whole family in one place,
and it could be a brand new place,
in a brand new place,
and
they're going to be whole together, maybe for the first time in years,
right?
Without those distractions, without orders or deployments or those things, for training, right?
A boss to tell them exactly what to do next, and their health insurance or their medical bills or any of it.
So I think for me, when I come across veterans that are doing this in their transition, I think, what a vulnerable time.
Right.
And the thing that I really want them to understand is that they have a suitcase, right? And if they unpack it, it's your GI Bill, it's your VA benefits, right? It's your disability claims. It could possibly be your retirement. But don't forget that your spouse carries the same kind of suitcase to unpack. There are a lot of resources to bring and bridge that whole family together. So like the state of Indiana is a collegiate Purple Star. There are a handful of colleges that really want to support veterans. So Ivy Tech, Purdue, Vincennes, they are all collegiate Purple Star.
Right.
But also all of our K through 12.
Amazing.
Yeah, our K through 12 are also Purple Star schools. So recognizing the fact that you have to tell people that you are a veteran family is not a, I hear this, right? Like, don't thank me for my service, right? I'm like, but you do have to declare this.
Right.
So people know how to handle your unique situation.
Right. Because even like children, if their parent is deployed or gone or in a new setting, they can be acting out for certain situations. So it's good for schools to know if they are a military family. They can have that trauma, just like you said, growing up, you had that same trauma, and the teachers may never have known, why is this kid just acting out? I can't get through to this kid, but there's a reason behind it, and there are resources for that.
Well, and knowledge is power. The more that
Right.
they understand, the more that they know. As a former teacher, you know,
Yeah.
like you have you know fully well.
Home life matters.
Home life
Yeah.
matters. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that you mentioned is like, oh, you know, all that suitcase full of baggage, not just for the service member, but for the family members, is even if, for example, for myself, right, 21 years of service, haven't returned to Indiana other than to come back here, visit with family and friends.
Mhm.
And then when you show back up, all the friends that you had in high school, everybody that you talk to, you don't have that same connection. They've already moved on. They've got their own lives. They've got their own jobs.
Yeah.
They've got kids now. So that support structure that you thought you were going to be coming back home to, just because you thought you were that close, like, not to say that you're not close now, but
Right.
it's not going to be the same as
Different
what
dynamic.
it was. It's a completely different dynamic than what it was when you left. And that's just life. And so to have additional support means and resources and groups to be able to kind of communicate with and have that conversation with makes life easier. But it's not only the aspect of that, but it's kind of going back to what you were talking to as well, is that spouse put her life on hold for how many years? So when it comes to her career, her education, because she had the other 500 things that she had to deal with on a daily basis, and now she can finally settle down. But she has no experience. So how do you convey what she does bring to employers and things like that?
Absolutely. And I have found that military spouses carry varied degrees of education and
very
experience.
knowledgeable.
Yeah. And some of them are resources to their base. They sign up, they volunteer, they have a lot of transferable skills. But I think what happens is when that whole family comes into their civilian life, they think that their service or their experience for your last 21 years, right, doesn't matter. It's just because we don't know the right way to translate it.
Break it down.
Yeah, I just had this conversation with a CEO, and she's amazing. She runs Psych Armor, and it was like a aha moment, right? We were talking about joint service transcripts, right? And I was like, why does this exist, right? Because in the civilian education world, we're trying to solve for learning employment records.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to her, I was like, those are the same things. So, like, how do we learn from what you have to offer? How do we get from that experience over to the things that we're trying to solve for? And how do you guys help us solve for that while we're helping you solve for this? Like,
that's why we're trying to start those mentorship programs with like ACP, and we're now part of MSEP, which is Military Spouse Employment Portal. But education to the companies and us being able to break down their enlisted reports and their operation reports and their joint reports, you know, and saying like, hey, this NCO, which is a non-commissioned officer, is the same as a mid-level manager of a company. You know what I mean? It's really just about having those connections. And that's what INvets tries to do with every partner that we meet with. I've actually started hosting lunch and learns with different companies because they want to learn, and I'll send them cheat sheets on like, okay, a E7 equates to like this level in these different terms, because it is really hard when they don't understand it. In our EPRs, our enlisted performances, they're all acronyms, and they're all
Acronyms,
you know,
or
shortened, abbreviated words.
Just
has to fit this long on a line.
like bullet points that can't go more than 15 words long. And I understand that doesn't give it. I think the officer side of things does a much better job.
Yeah, because they do paragraph style.
Of being able to show exactly what it is that you do. And hopefully eventually the Army gets to that point, or
Air Force is starting it.
Yeah,
we just started it, but or they are now starting it. It was my last one, was a paragraph form, but it is, and that's where a lot of military, when they get out, they think, oh, I'm just going to walk into a job, they're going to hire me, they're going to know that I know how to do this, but they can know how to do it, but they're also easily trained. You know what I mean? They can be thrown into any situation and learn, you know, if they're given the chance.
Absolutely. And I think on the employer side,
Yeah.
there's there's some education that needs to be done.
Mhm.
So if you've never been in proximity with like a veteran or somebody that has served, then maybe you have from just movies and entertainment and TV of what that looks like. And
which are not always factual.
oh, right, exactly.
98%.
Right.
Not
I
factual.
mean that's drama based. So you
Mhm.
start. So they might have a persona in their mind that is just like, this person's going to be drama because I just saw, you know.
Mhm. Well, that's why we started doing these summits, because we want to get employers in the same room with veterans and spouses who are looking for it. Like we just had our first one back in Indy in July, or was it?
Mhm.
Yeah, in July. And then we had Fort Wayne, then we had Bloomington, and then my summit's coming up in March. Then we're doing Lafayette. Like we want to get everyone in the same
Yeah.
room, because you're right. They may have just never sat down and talked with a veteran.
Or they don't know how to ask, or what should you know, right?
Right.
Or you know, they hear a lot of like, don't ask about this because it's going to trigger that, right?
They get scared. They think everyone
Well, I
has
think
PTSD
those are,
and going to freak out.
misconceived perceptions,
Yeah.
and that's definitely not the right way to go. I think the easiest thing to do is ask those questions. If you don't know and you want to know more, most veterans are going to be honest with you. They're going to tell you exactly.
They're going to tell you the whole story.
Yeah.
And I have to say about this community, the fact that I am a civilian, right?
Mhm.
The best thing that I have ever done is just led with curiosity,
Mhm.
right? Like, why is that a thing? Why do you do that?
Yeah.
Like,
Why do you say that word?
Why
Instead of this word? What does it mean?
you know, why are we here a half an hour early?
Because if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
That's right.
So, like, I think just for the civilian community, HR, employers, foremen, if you're back off on maybe the stereotypes or what you think you know, and really lead with like curiosity.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how is this veteran going to be a top performer for me? Right? Like, I am curious about that. Like,
And some companies are great about asking the question, especially if they're curious. But that's another reason why when we had board spots opened up, and then I was like, oh my God, I want Kelly to be my board member, because you understand and you have so many connections and you will help educate everyone and be in our corner in every aspect, which you've already done so much for INvets that like it's a perfect fit. And I was so glad that you said yes, because I knew it was a lot more on your plate.
I do appreciate it though. And it gave me the ability to serve in a capacity that really kind of put it all together for me.
Right.
So thank you so much for that, because like for a while it was like I just siloed this and I just did this with veterans, or I would take these phone calls. And I got to tell you, like my career has been built off of very great veterans, right?
Yeah.
Like if I needed something, like you guys are the first to like pick up a phone.
Oh yeah.
Like if I text something out, like no offense to like my civilian peers out there, but like maybe a little bit caught up in your world right now, right?
Yeah.
But veterans, like I'll be like, hey, like I have this idea. Is it stupid? You guys have no filter. You're like, that is the stupidest thing that I've ever heard. Don't do that. And I'm like, okay, fine. I won't do that. Yeah. I respect that because you're seeing it from, or I have this idea about what I would like to like communicate about the veteran community. Does this sit right with you? And you're like, yeah, that sits right. Or no, we really need to go a little bit further.
Having that longer reach too, then that way people understand what you're trying to say, because we may not understand the terms of civilian of how you're promoting something or advertising for an event, right? And then we could say, hey, this would catch their eye more. It really is. And it is great that this collaboration always happens.
So we got the backstory on how you guys first met and then how you were asked to be a board member. What did you know about INvets at that point?
Okay, so
so
I've been hanging around for a while. So
shout out our founder.
Yeah, shout out to Wes.
Hey Wes.
Still top walking day in DC, by the way, if you're watching this. Like that is the most steps I've ever got in my life. So thank you for showing me around DC. Memorable, sir.
Yep. I'm going to DC for the first time to like spend actual time there on the 28th of January.
I think that's something that everybody should do.
Yep.
I think everybody should go to DC, see the monuments, see where legislation takes place, feel that energy. It's a totally different type of environment.
The only other time I was there, we were there for like 12 hours. The event was the whole time, and then we slept and flew. This time I'll have about 10 hours to play around after the event. So
yeah,
hopefully enough time.
If you follow the Westwood pattern, right,
Mhm.
you will walk 20 miles that day, and you will see it all.
That sounds
Sorry,
horrible.
not doing that
Yeah.
one. Sorry, Wes.
So going back, so
Yeah.
Wes and I had met. It was early days of my stand downs. I was working for Goodwill Industries,
Mhm.
building up education and workforce programs for them, veterans. Ernie, we just kind of got into that community, and Wes was building something on an idea for the state of Indiana, and it really wrapped around like a little bit of tourism, a little bit of community, a little bit of reaching out to the veterans that he knew are soon to be transitioning veterans to come back to Indiana,
Right.
to bring that talent, to bring that skill set.
Because Indiana is a wonderful state with great benefits and tons of jobs, but
Yes.
most people don't know about Indiana because they just fly over it. But there's so much here.
Yeah.
Most people are like, what's in Indiana but snow
Corn.
and corn?
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
like, there's more than snow and corn. It's great. I love
know.
this state.
Okay, let's stop here. We got the dunes up north,
Right.
Like if you've never seen the dunes, come see the dunes,
Right.
right? You know,
We
just
got skiing, we got fishing, we got hunting, we got water. We have
every
almost like an ocean. Lake Michigan's
Boating,
right down
skiing,
there.
you can do
I mean-
everything within the state.
Yeah.
It's great.
I just went to Batesville, Indiana. It's an hour outside of Indy,
Yeah.
and I was like, I could live here.
Yeah.
It is
so many beautiful towns.
It was gorgeous. It was based in a German town, very
Mhm.
tight knit. I saw kids going to coffee shops, and it just felt like a all American town,
Yeah.
right?
Like old
Um,
school, yeah. Or something
yeah,
but
like,
it's
yeah,
cozy.
Yeah, every like sense of safety, and I was like, this is Indiana,
Right.
right? Like this is Indiana.
The Hoosier hospitality. Because honestly, people in the Midwest are friendly and they are out and about and doing things. It is great.
Well, I think another one is like nobody understands like how many different events go on within inside of the state.
Yeah.
Like what we have an entire booklet dedicated to showing exactly when they
Yeah.
are,
I should
where
have
they
brought
are.
one.
Right.
Yeah, and I think so around that time to like Wes knew this,
Yeah.
right? So he had a great vision, and bringing INvets to fruition,
Right.
was a wonderful piece of work for Indiana, and being able to connect it to employers and then connect veterans to their community, to new communities
Right.
that were, interested and had a lot to offer.
Right.
So I got to watch Wes grow up through INvets and then go on to do great things, and watch how INvets evolves over time
Right.
is really great, because I think the one thing that really appealed to me about being on the board is being modern about this approach.
Yeah. Going into the new day as opposed to from the beginning level. Is that what you're talking about? Like
Yeah,
the growth
yeah.
that we've already
Well,
expanded?
Yeah, I see a lot of there are thousands of nonprofits for veterans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's a ridiculous number, and you look at the nation, it's really hard to kind of cut out who's the best actors in the bunch,
Mm-hmm.
who's like a mid tier, and like who's not doing the right thing.
Right.
INvets, their modernization of what veterans are. You're a veteran,
Right.
but you're not the same as a Vietnam veteran.
Right.
No.
Or a Korean War veteran, right? Like this is modern day veterans serving modern day veterans.
Right.
It's a different conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I liked about it, is because what I don't want to see happen is spending so much time in the stand downs and doing that work. Our Vietnam vets have a host of problems.
Right.
Health problems, delayed VA entry,
Financial problems.
housing. I mean, you sit with me at
Oh,
the
yeah.
stand downs, and you're like, why is this generation of veterans so like
not where we are. Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Because they didn't know about it and didn't have the resources
Well,
too, right? Yeah.
I think resources is a big one. Social media, marketing, things of that nature.
Accessibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
But I do see, this is my fear. That post 9/11 vets, with all of their honor and all of their great works that they did during their service, will think, I don't need to go file for this VA. I don't need to go file for this because it's for somebody else. There's somebody else
That needs it more.
that needs it more. And that is just setting us up for another wave of things.
When they grow older
So-
and then they don't have those benefits when you need to do it right away when you get out.
And that's a good fear to have, to be completely honest with you. I mean, myself, you know, prior to me separating, I felt the exact same way and I had the same thoughts. And I know that a lot of my friends that I served with had the exact same feelings. Like, I don't need that. I still feel healthy. I don't have any of these problems. And it was like, well, you know, somebody else needs that more than me. And then I sat down and I had a conversation with a retiree. I can't even remember where I was at when I had it. But he looked at me straight in the face and he said, that's selfish of you. And I said, well, how do you figure? And he said, essentially, when you signed a contract, the government and the United States military signed a contract back with you to ensure that you were taken care of and that your family was taken care of. So if you don't go through and you don't use the benefits and you don't file your claims and you don't do all of these things, you're selfish because you're not helping take care of your family that took care of you and did all of those things.
Right.
And I think that was a very, very important message that I needed to hear. And I needed to hear that from somebody else who had previously gone through it. And it was at that point that my perception of all of the things, you know, the VA, my retirement, all of the great benefits that we already talked about that Indiana has to offer you, I was like, no, I'm going to use that. And and they're absolutely right. If you're not taking advantage of it, money is there. And if you don't
use it, they could go away
that's
too.
it.
For the next generation of veterans. Like, they're like, oh, we don't need this amount of money anymore. Let's drop it in half. And then it screws them. Because absolutely, you're right. I was the same way where I felt, well, I don't need it. But then someone told me, well, you might not need it today, but you might need it in 20 years when those secondary effects and everything else come up, that you need to have that in your records. You need to be already documented.
And be proactive about it. I think that's the next message for anybody that's watching that's still currently serving. Don't be like a lot of us who waited up until the last 12 months to start getting their medical records documented and all of the other issues. You need to start that process. Don't look at it as like, oh, I'm being that person that goes out there and I'm just going on sick call to do this. Like, I don't care. Do it. Take the time and
If
make
it's
sure.
legit, don't be that sick call person.
Yeah, don't be.
Yes.
But absolutely.
Yeah.
If it's legitimate, then take care of it. And even as a leader, when I was still serving, I got to that point as well. Like, oh, you're hurt, and you obviously know the person that's being that's
faking it.
That's faking it, and the person that's being legitimate. And I used to tell them all the time, like, stop. I don't care. Go to sick call. Go get looked at. I don't care if you're out for 3 weeks because in 6 months I may need you.
Right.
Take the 3 weeks as opposed to the 6 months.
Get healthy now, because otherwise it's going to be a bigger issue down the road.
Absolutely.
Sprain can turn into a torn ligament as opposed to just a sprain.
Yep.
I'm really glad that both of you talked about this, because it is absolutely the thing that starts the transition off wrong.
Right.
Like that, not being able to connect with the benefits that you have available to you is a leading indicator that things are about to go off the rails.
Well, and everyone we talk to, we always ask them, hey, have you done your BDD? You know, because you can now start that process, your benefits process, 180 days before you get out. So you don't have to forget about it and go through the move and stuff, because you're right, they deserve these benefits and they need to do them.
So, and what, through like research and knowing, when you delay that,
It makes the process worse.
Yeah, it makes the process worse.
Oh, yeah.
You are you are not setting yourself up on the right foot. You have a higher claim to unemployment, right? So the system that you should have went in to go get all the benefits that are, you know, you're entitled to, now you're going off it. Now you're going state benefits, right? State unemployment benefits, right? Because everybody ends up at this like crossroads of like, how do I get employment? What do I do to sustain my family? I am now, you know, my resources get
More limited.
yeah, they dwindle over time.
Oh yeah,
right?
or now you lost all your medical records and now you can't find them, or that
Right.
doctor's office shut down and now you don't even know where they're at. Like, it definitely hinders it.
Life gets complicated.
We were all just talking about that this morning, and we all had a rough morning, but we're all here and we're ready to rock.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean,
life is gonna life.
I mean, it's such a complex thing, right? There's stages and levels to this.
Really.
And I think what you said and what both of you said is almost like a system standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are, like, with anything, like, and this could even go to like high school graduates and college graduates. Anytime that you go through a transition in life, you should be thinking about, what should I start today that's going to make future me that much better,
Mm-hmm.
right? And even if you don't feel like, oh, I deserve this now, future you will appreciate it.
Yes.
Right. You go through that pain and that extra step now to be able to not have such a hard time in the future, for sure.
Yeah, and to the point, if you have to find motivation for your spouse or your children
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that maybe you don't want to use your GI Bill. Hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you have little ones at home, they're going to grow up to have choices too.
Right. And if you don't transfer those benefits before you're out and 4 years prior to before you're out, then it's too late and you can't transfer it to them. I knew a person that had literally applied to do the transfer at his like 15, 16 year mark. And when he was retiring at year 19, something had like a pause, like he didn't confirm something. And so he reached out and he was like, hey, this never went through. I'm trying to make sure it's all good for my kids for later. And they're like, well, you have to give another 4 years. You can't transfer it. And he's like, you can see I started it back when I was at year 15 and I've served 20. What do you mean?
Yeah.
He couldn't do it. He had to retire and have to use it himself. So like looking forward, like you said, making sure that things are actually in place is very important.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to that curiosity thing, right? As a civilian, I want to be curious about your journey, what stumbles you, what supports you, and things like that. But I think that inside the service, you have to be curious about, what are these laws? What are these regulations? What do I need to be doing? And it sounds like that needs to be rediscovered year after year, because those, as you gain years of service, retirement starts becoming an option, right?
Yeah. It's so funny how hard it is to get out of the military, but it's so easy to get in, just signing one piece of paper. You're like, but there's so much to do to get out, and people get lost. And that's what's great about us. We've been in their boots, is what I like to say, and kind of say, hey, did you do this? Hey, did you do this? Make sure, if you want to be a gardener, have you taken a gardening class? You know what I mean? Like, set yourself up for those.
And kind of looking at what you're talking about too is like, you can do tap events starting 24 months out, but there's not that's a check the block for most service members. It's like, yes, I went and I sat through this briefing. Did they really pay attention? So, and that's something that there's an individual responsibility that's a part of that to ensure. And I know that there's constant pressure on leaders to ensure that they're getting the information that you're putting in, but you can't make somebody care. And that would be my message, is just like you said, start thinking about your future 10 years ago. And that's where it needs to start.
Yeah. And I think a lot of things that transfer over from like civilian life to like your veteran journey is that accountability factor, right? And I think we need to be curious and accountable to make things happen for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's great to have advocates like you, especially being a part of INvets, is you have so many connections where you can educate other companies and to be curious. We don't want them just to be veteran friendly. We want them to be veteran ready. You know what I mean? And,
absolutely.
And excited for this and curious. That's a great word.
I'm so happy that you brought up the veteran ready. So this is like a fun project, right? And I'll share it with you because you don't know, but Victoria's been on my journey with this, right? So Victoria INvets have been like my subject matter experts, like as I like stumble through this. So for me, when I pull myself back and I look at communities that say that are employers that say that they're veteran friendly, that is good. But I notice that it's usually, okay, that's Memorial Day and I'm going to get it wrong with the 4th of July and I'm also going to get it wrong with Labor Day. Like, I don't know why.
Or Veterans Day.
Or Veterans Day, right? And we're going to put flags out. and we're going to celebrate the entirety of a service, right? And then we're just going to close up shop and go. And then we're going to say we did a good thing as a community. But did you?
Yeah.
And this is my challenge. Did you really move the veterans forward in your community? And this is where Veteran Ready starts to form. Are you asking veterans to be on cabinets, right, for your city government? Are they city council members? Are they bringing their skill sets that they brought from the military
and their
experience? Are they bringing them to the appropriate places? If you had experience with like curriculum or instruction and you did that, why are you not in our schools?
Yeah.
Right? Why aren't the schools inviting you in to help? And we know that there's a huge shortage in teachers.
Oh yeah.
We know that there's a huge shortage in volunteerism, but veterans volunteer more than civilians. They take up more causes. They want to
have
be
that
connected.
passion.
Absolutely. So to be veteran ready, even with employers, it's great. I love it when I come around on Veterans Day and I see all the cupcakes and the pizza, right?
It's delicious.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yes, I hope all of you get all of your free stuff on Veterans Day, right? Right.
Yep.
But I want that. I want real impactful things to happen for our community because there's an ROI there, right? This isn't altruistic by any means, right? I live in a community of like 750 people. The majority of our volunteer fire department, who's gonna come save me out of my house right, like if supper goes wrong, who's coming for me, right? And it's gonna be the majority of them are gonna be veterans because they decided to serve again, just in a different way in our community, at our volunteer fire department, unpaid, still training, and they're gonna come save me out of my kitchen, right? Yeah. I need that.
Right.
Our communities need that level of skill set, talent to be able to move us forward in our agendas.
Right.
I need veterans in city council. Have you ever seen a city council meeting go absolutely bonkers, right? Like, I need somebody with some structure, right?
They can be like, all right, next topic, let's move on.
Right, like, we talk about, even in business and education, we talk about mission creep. You know who doesn't mission creep? Veterans. They don't mission creep. They got one mission.
Yeah, we're going to stay in our lane and we're going to get it done.
Right.
For the most part.
we need that, and it's a balance, right? And it's a skill set.
That was my biggest struggle when going into civilian world. I'm like, dude, everyone's not where they're supposed to be on time, or people are late and there's no structure. We're going to a meeting and I'm like, what? Where is my outline? Where, like, I can't focus my brain. So it's like, it's having the people on track. It's great. We want to be involved.
So I think over I started in October, and over the last 3 months, I've spoken to at least 30 different companies, and every single one of them have the same things to say. I need somebody who is dependable, that's going to show up on time, that is not going to call off of work, that's hardworking, that's disciplined with inside of their daily activities. You can give them a task and they're going to go do that task. They want somebody that's trainable. Well, everything that you are asking for is a service member, whether that be with 2 years of service or 20 years of service. I have those in droves, but the question is are you kind of going back to, are you veteran friendly or are you veteran ready? You say you want this, but there are also other things that you have to account for when it comes to that veteran.
Yeah, they may have VA appointments, or, maybe they're the spouse and they want to work, but they're both mill to mill and they're in the reserve unit and one's deployed. Hey, I have to go take care of my kid. Those little things sometimes are hard.
Absolutely, and compensation needs to match. So I'm gonna challenge employers out there and like workforce is military service matters. It is years spent in training, skill sets, talents,
and bringing those requirements that they're looking for,
right? Yeah. And that the weight of that, right, requires a compensation that matches,
right? Because even in the normal, like, there's a lot of jobs out there that they want them to work 12-hour shifts, 4 days a week, or whatever it is, and that's great and dandy, but it's $17 an hour. a single person most of the time
Yeah.
can't live off of $17 an hour,
mean,
and a veteran with a spouse and 2 kids can't live off
Yeah.
of $17 an hour.
And-
And it's hard. Like, even $25 an hour is really hard to live off of, and we have a great cost of living in Indiana. So you're right.
Right.
Bringing those pays for what they're bringing to the table is absolutely important.
Yeah.
And that's another reason to ensure that you go through and you do your claims, because
Right,
that
but that's something they've earned.
Yeah,
They shouldn't take a
Yeah.
dog on their
but
pay.
that's
Yeah.
definitely not what
Oh, yeah.
my point is, but it
That
can
can
help.
Yes,
It helps.
it definitely can.
So, and how I categorize this into the veteran friendly and veteran ready is veteran ready doesn't account for your retirement,
Right.
doesn't account for anything that you had earned, because in the civilian world,
Nobody else has that.
if I if I retire from one job,
Mhm.
right, nobody is going to ask me what my 401k looks like.
Yeah.
in
Or
my
if you
next
have your
job.
health
That's true.
benefits,
Right.
or if you have a pension and VA,
Yeah.
and then lowball you on a job
Right.
offer.
No,
Which, I mean, I would
Yeah.
hope nobody would want to lowball anyone,
Right.
but it happens.
right, but they think,
Mhm.
right, that there's like, and I've seen it,
Mhm.
and this is where like re-education and understanding that your personal financial situation, knowing that you are retired, doesn't mean that the compensation
Should be lower.
should be lowered. No, not at all.
Yeah, because actually I'm a retiree with that is probably going to bring a lot more experience to also help in that position. And they're
Exactly.
going to grow within that organization right away, which I understand in this civilian world,
Immediate. You want immediate impact.
get a veteran.
Get a veteran.
Yeah.
And I know they're going to hire those big, leader positions from within, which is very well earned because they put in the time as a civilian. But if you're bringing in someone and they fit the requirements, maybe bring them in almost at the same level instead of putting them, you can go work the floor for a couple of years and then we'll bump you up. You know what I mean? Like put them at their commensurate skill sets. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think being veteran ready is taking all of those things in consideration and being curious about how they could do better and asking questions of INvets, of everybody that's connecting, transitioning veterans to employers. The employers really, really need to ask those questions. Am I compensating correctly for this? Right? Is my interview questions like really going to get to the heart and the skills of this? Like
Instead
understanding.
of just tell me about yourself. Like
Oh
that
my
might be a
gosh.
hard question for a veteran to answer. Be like, okay, I was ammo or I was EOD. Like nobody's gonna know what that means, but hey,
Yeah.
ask like
I think that's the hardest question for any veteran, because most veterans don't want to tell about themselves. They don't like talking about themselves because they consider that it's almost like they're bragging about themselves. And
Yeah.
I think for a lot of veterans and a lot of leaders, it's not about me. It's about my soldiers.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't do anything. If I have 18 or 20 people that I'm responsible for, it's not I did that.
Yeah.
They did that. And I think that's just another great quality that we have. If you want mentorship, you want guidance, you want to see your organization grow, that's another thing that we bring to the table, because it will never be about us. It will be about the organization as a whole and its success.
Yeah.
putting
And
them together.
I think that's a perfect example of what servant leadership looks like, right?
Right.
And we hear that
Mhm.
out in all businesses. Oh,
Right.
I would love to have a servant leader because they care about their people and they want to make sure that they're trained and
Taken
they
care
want
of.
to they want to make sure that the organization is moving forward and it's a collective. It's not an individual,
Yeah.
and
And that's all the military is teamwork. Because guess what? If my person to the right and left fall out, like then I am by myself. You have to work together to make it through together, and that's what in companies they need to work together to be successful together.
So some advice to the employers out there and how I have taken to interviewing veterans is tell me what resonates with you on the job description.
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good one. I
So
like
that they are able to start picking through their skills and their talents and they don't get nervous and start talking about the wild things, right? Because they don't know what we're looking for.
Yeah,
And
they don't want to say something wrong,
right.
or then start cussing or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let
because
something slip. But what stood out to you, and then why, and what could you do?
Right.
What could you bring to that team? Is a great.
And the other part is I want them to tell me a little bit of a story, right?
Yeah.
So like going through the job description, you guys are structured, you'd like to know what's coming next. Send out the interview questions beforehand. It will
Yeah.
help them be able to understand the environment that they're walking into, the culture that is there, and
Yeah.
and be able to prep themselves and replay and make sure that they are bringing the best elements of what that
Yeah.
is, because there's an expectation in the military that I have learned from all of you,
Mhm.
right? That is very different than civilian, right? And that they need time to process.
And that's a great point about getting the questions out there. And it doesn't have to be every single question
No.
the interviewer is going to ask, but like a generic one. So there's a template for their brain to be like, okay, this is how a civilian interview is going to go for this company. I will know how to then prepare.
And as somebody, sorry, real quick,
No, no.
as somebody that has hired
Mhm.
hundreds of people,
Yeah.
right? That part lets me know how you think,
Mhm.
how you prepare for open-ended questions.
Yeah.
Will show me more about your aptitude, your knowledge, your skills, and your readiness for the position.
And if they aren't prepared and you gave them a template, then you know that they're not at that
Exactly.
caliber and they
Right.
didn't put any effort
Right.
into it.
That means that
and they're stumbling.
Right. That means that I
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah.
That this isn't the
Not a good fit.
Right. And together we'll know. So I will call that out in an interview. I'm like,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like you prepared for this.
Yeah.
Right?
We gave
Does
you a
it-
template.
Right. What did you really want to happen? Right?
Yeah.
Because
I love that technique.
because like then we just get to an understanding like this was just a job that they applied for. It's not a career move.
They're
It's
not passionate about
they're
it.
not, right?
Yeah.
And we all know, right, that statistically veterans, if they will take the job, right, and if it's not the right fit, they are unemployed in 6, 8, a
Mhm.
year, right? So as employers, we need to recognize that
Yeah.
there's something else here, right? We need to make sure that we're hiring based on what we need, but giving the correct opportunity to allow that veteran to show what is best of them.
Yeah.
So we keep them for 5 years because they'll stay.
Mhm.
They'll stay
They're
for
very loyal.
eternity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like,
Right.
yeah, loyal. Like,
Very loyal.
Yeah.
But then again, if the pay is going with it, and
Yeah.
also maybe they applied for this job and they're interviewing for that job, but when you have those open-ended questions, maybe you feel that's not a good fit, but if there's another position in the organization that you feel they would be a great fit for, I guarantee you they'd be open for it. You know, you'd be like,
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be better in this department. What do you think?
Again, back to curiosity,
Yeah.
right? Like, be curious about what
Mhm.
this person can bring to you. But do all veterans like need this like one like stamp get hired because they filled out an application? No, we would be doing no
No,
favors.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That we
absolutely
would be
not.
doing no favors,
Right.
right? We need
get them the right way, mentor them the right way.
it has to be a two-sided commitment
Mhm.
to move forward, because I know that watching your transition as like an outsider and a witness to
Right.
this, like it is so hard to lose a job.
Right. That you've done for years, and you're losing your finances, your community, your camaraderie, you
Yeah.
know, moving to a new place, starting fresh. And it really is hard. And I tell people,
But
tell our
then
clients,
losing another job.
yeah,
within, like-
afterwards,
like
your first civilian
Well-
job, you're like, how did I get either let go or how am I going to
Like,
quit?
No,
Are
just
like-
failure. Like
You feel like failure.
you feel like a failure. Like
Mhm.
you did something so great and amazing, and you had a great career with inside of the military, and then all of a sudden you think you found the job that you wanted, and then it turns out not to be what you expected, and now you're either getting fired because your heart wasn't truly in it, or because of just downsizing or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But failure, and nobody wants to feel like they failed.
No.
And I it's a great point. I think that, you know, when you're talking about making sure that it's a good fit, one of the other things to consider is career progression.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what branch, right? Like, you start out as a nothing. You're just some person in a room doing
Learning.
your job, learning, trying to figure out your life, and that's exactly what you're doing in that first period of employment.
Mhm.
So, recommendation to all of the veterans: one, make sure you give it 12 months.
Yeah.
Like that's my personal belief. You give that job 12 months because at that point you get to come in, you get to show your worth, you get to see that there is potential for growth and progression within inside of the company, but you have to earn that. That's again,
it's
just
not
like
given.
it's not given to you. You earn that just like you earned everything else.
But then you can also enact change too while you're growing and showing your skills,
Absolutely.
see if it would get better.
And this is what I tell civilians too as they go into the job market. Your 12-month is absolutely it. You are not good at your job for the first year.
Oh no.
Yeah, like you are learning, you are asking questions, you are stumbling, you're potentially being a whole rock star in one lane, self-doubting in another, right? And it's not until that year mark you're like, okay, now I know the culture. Now I know the people. Now I know the expectations. Now I know the job. I'm getting comfortable. Now I know about the commute. Like, it takes a while for adjustment. And that's just a people thing.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
That's
in
just,
any position or even school.
Absolutely.
Like, So you're absolutely right on. Like, give it time, right?
And allow the employers to know, like, give new hires, whether they're civilian or military, give them time to learn it. It's a whole new adjustment. Yeah, for sure.
You have to show your worth, and you have to show that that you are committed to their goals. And I think another thing, when I started looking for companies after I separated, it was, do they kind of hold the same values as me? Yeah. What is their overarching position, and where do they want to take their company? Because I can look at somebody's website and kind of get a feeling that's not for me. That is not the organization that I want to be a part of. I wanted to do something meaningful, and I wanted to do something that kept me around the military community, and it eventually got me to INvets, where I love what I do. I love being able to continue to mentor transitioning service members, and I love the fact that I can still have those conversations with veterans that have the same experience as me, which is most of the companies inside of Indiana, again, they love to hire veterans, and they do a fairly good job of it. There's a veteran community inside of a lot of the companies, and this is kind of where I was trying to get at, right? So there's a veteran community inside of the companies in Indiana, and if that's something that you long for as a veteran, Indiana is definitely the state for you. And you can find yourself here with like-minded people, whether co-workers, managers, or senior level leaders.
Yeah, get on those military teams within that organization. And I tell my clients all the time, stop blanket applying to every single job on Indeed.
Do not do the shotgun approach, right?
Sending out 500 resumes and then trying to just see what sticks. No, if you have a couple that you're kind of interested in, fine, use a generic master resume. But if you find a job that you are passionate about, do the research in the company, take the extra day, tailor a resume, do a cover letter, reach out to someone in the organization to find out how the company is.
Reach out to that network.
Network.
I have to agree. Yeah. And I think
it shows effort too.
Yeah, and it does. It does. And I think that shotgun approach, right, is really a stress.
Right.
I
need a job. Oh my God.
It's a stress mechanism. So like if anybody's doing that right now, like just know you're stressed, right?
Yeah. I know. Hopefully it's not blurry, but I think we're good.
Yeah, just know that you're stressed. But the whole idea though is that those environments, right? You have to do a self-check, right? Are those environments really going to produce the best version of me?
Yeah.
Because, or is this, it's just, if I go do this, I'm going to grind through it until
make some money and be miserable
and have a miserable civilian life. And I feel like every veteran I have ever talked to, right? Anybody that's getting up, they're super excited about coming back to the civilian world, right? They're to some degree, right? I
always tell people, what if you could do any job in the world, what is your dream job? Okay, so we can work towards that path because it is your turn and your time to choose what you want to do. You don't have the military telling you what you're doing next. But maybe you can't be a basket weaver or a scuba diver, but we can find something in those fields that gets you involved and has passion.
Well, it should be enjoyable.
Right. Exactly.
You should have some enjoyment. if you enjoyed your military career, then extend that. If you didn't enjoy your military career, renew this, right?
Pivot to something completely different.
Yes.
Exactly. So, I mean, self-reflection. So I think one of the other things that I love about INvets is that personal relationship that you end up having with your, with your veterans that you're serving, right? So it's veterans serving veterans at this point.
Exactly.
And what
And we have the ability, like you said, to be brutally honest with them.
Gosh darn it, dude.
It's so true, though.
You know how many, like, corrective actions I've gotten from, like, the veteran community? Like, nah, Kelly, that's not the way. I'm like, well, I was thinking, they were like, think less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
So your question is what is your dream job? And it's like, what are you open to? I'm open to everything.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No, that's not true.
So stop it. You're not open to anything. So are you willing to work 50 hours a week? No. Are you wanting to work nights? No. Okay, then we are not open to anything. So take some time.
Make a list. Sit with your spouse.
Yes.
But like, to your point, it could be as simple as looking at your family schedule and saying, when am I most needed, right? What level of flexibility do I need to serve my family, right?
How much do I really need to make?
How much do I really need to make? And start going through it very
Methodical.
Yes, right? Like, treat that part of it like a job, right?
But don't wait until you're 3 months out. Make sure that you're starting this 12 months out.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
we get a lot of people that'll sign up, and then we're reaching out, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, I'm out in 2 months. I'm out in 30 days. And I'm like, that's hard. Not enough time even to get you applications and interviews. Like,
right. And if you do that between November, right? So
November to February.
And the government likes to
shut down.
Well, right. But October is when most people are released into their civilian life. So veterans transition the most in October, in that like fall area.
Those are a lot of PCSs and moves and stuff. But a lot of it depends if they're getting out or if they're retiring. Most retirees push it to June because kids in school. But exactly right.
So there's a cycle to this, right? But the ones in October, that's hard.
It's really hard because then everyone shuts down for the holidays, and then everyone's swamped after the holidays to catch up on emails. It really is hard.
And you have to plan for that. So you have to pull back and look at this as like a project management situation,
right?
And you got to look at this is a new aspect of my job, and if I wait too long to engage with this new aspect of my career, then what are we doing, right?
Yeah. Then you're gonna go months without pay.
And just like, you're like, if you're out there and you're doing this, you're about to stress out a whole lot of people, myself included, Victoria.
We're gonna be there trying to help, but it's like
everybody's gonna come through, but it's really just unneeded stress on a very stressful time.
Already on that person. It's like, we can't apply for them. We can't do the interview for them. We can just help them with doing little connections if we have it in the field that they want. But it's really, they have to own that and methodically plan it out. And we're here to help guide them. And that's what we love about INvets.
And it's absolutely the thing that just keeps me going, and being a board member, and looking at veteran friendly, veteran ready communities. And I think as a civilian, it's a great way for me to look and say, like, I thank you for letting me in and opening the door to your lives, right? So I can see, but also going back to the civilian portion and be like, do you not see what
we're doing it wrong?
Right. Yeah. Like, do you not see what I see? Right.
And you've already done that and helped us so much doing podcasts with us to explain it to people. You using your resources, your connections to educate and get people on board, because it's all about both sides need to be educated and working together.
And truly, like, so the state of Indiana right now, we are just driving workforce, education, defense, drones, nuclear power, data centers, like
so many
new degrees are being developed, new jobs are being AI.
Oh my God!
I mean, money and grants and Eli Lilly. I mean, the vast amount of resources that are in Indiana right now are just in abundance.
Right.
But we need people, right? And we need talent to be able to harness that.
And in the right spots, in the right positions, yeah.
Right. And this is absolutely a talent pipeline. And it has to be harnessed in the right way.
And it needs to have that open communication with the hiring team or who's in that role, because we can definitely provide that pipeline.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the additional education or understanding as well. Like if they don't have a whole lot of military hires and they don't understand it, that's where that education, we have to have that direct contact though. It can't be with some lower level. It has to be with, just like you said, it has to be with a hiring manager or somebody that has
makes the decisions.
Yes.
And this is where I'm going to call out, INvets needs more partners in this, right? We need more sponsorships, and we need more people that are going to say, yes, I want to be a part of this veteran ready, because Indiana is worth it, right? And we need this talent pipeline here, because the jobs are going to be in abundance, the wages are going to go up, and good things are going to happen.
Right.
But we need to import talent.
Yeah. Because we don't have enough in Indiana.
Because it takes too long to grow children.
Yeah.
Right, let's be honest. It takes
someone today, that's 18 years from now.
Right. Like
and the skills.
It just takes, and then, by God, do they have their own ideas?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be completely different. They all want to be influencers at that time.
Like stop it. Like, so we need to import this talent for our communities, so we can drive this, like, being this economic development, workforce education, and do that. So we need the imported talent.
Yeah. And we need those sponsorships so we can continue to go out and recruit and tell people about Indiana and bring them here for the positions that we can have those connections with and say, here you go.
And I hope anybody that watches this really starts to take into, like, seriously think of all of the places that INvets goes.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to tell you, like, I end up having national work, right? and I ended up in making a phone call to Kentucky on a project that I was doing at TPMA.
Yeah.
Right. And I get on the call. There's some veterans in the room, and then I say something like, oh, like, we're talking vet stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on in Kentucky? I'm like, oh, this is going on, and I just drop that. I'm like, hey, like,
part of INvets.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I need some credibility.
Yeah. I'm not just normal. I'm awesome.
All right, like, I just need some street cred, so you'll talk to, because there is, like, a level, like, their veterans are going to give you their very personal side. What I need is, like,
their real side.
So they give it to me. So I was like, hey, I'm on the board of INvets, like, and then they were like, do you know these people? Do you know Chaz? Do you know Jerry? And I was like, hold up. Yeah. I was like, yeah.
Were they with KY Valor?
No, they were with Fort Campbell.
Okay, because we're there all the time.
Yeah.
It is. It's fantastic. And a lot of other states have actually started implementing what INvets does, because we have been so successful of bringing in new talent.
Absolutely. Like Kentucky, right? But the part is, like, this is the gold standard.
Yeah.
Like, yes, good luck. KY Valor, right?
They've been around for a while too, but even
I'm teasing a little. No disparaging remarks.
There's lots of states that are doing great things, but we are going to have a ton of jobs coming. Yeah, we need to keep going out there and.
But the fact that INvets is in these places within the world, you guys have traveled worldwide, right? But just going to these bases and really showing up, being in the places that people care about, talking to people that you care about, that you want to come to Indiana, and driving a talent pipeline that is work ready. I can't think of another work ready, like, not even a graduate from college is actually work ready.
They may have that degree, but do they have the life experience to back it up? Now, the veteran may not have the degree, but has been engineering vehicles and diesel mechanics for 20 years. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely. Like, when I graduated from college, was I work ready? No.
A lot of learning.
Yeah. Like, I needed
the experience.
I needed experience, right? And that is only learned, right? Through structure, training, skills, right? Time, strong leadership, right?
Mentorship, yeah. I was gonna say mentorship.
Yeah.
Well, and if companies don't know, they also, like, if you have a specific something you're looking for, we can look and target different bases to go there to develop that pipeline if we get the sponsorship to go to that community. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes they may not be on our radar, but that's why we go to like Norfolk a lot, because we get a lot of engineers and a lot of mechanics that come out of there, and it's perfect. We love.
Yeah, and I would say the only frustration part I have with being on the board is that I wish people knew the story more.
Right.
I really wish people understood what INvets is to the state of Indiana on a broad scale, but also on an individual. When you place a veteran, you place veterans in the county that we're sitting in right now. So we're sitting in LaPorte County, right? That has a ROI to economic development. That means that their children are adding to headcount in elementary schools. That means that they're buying houses. That means that they're shopping at our local stores, right? So they're taking those dollars from retirement, disability, those dollars that they earned, in addition to the work dollars that they're getting, and they're putting it right back into the community immediately. Exactly. I tell you, as somebody that has an 18-year-old, right? He's hoarding his money. He's living at home, and he's going to be on my insurance, right?
Right.
He's going to graduate high school, but he doesn't have the means or the resources to start putting into the community tomorrow, right?
Until he gets a job and gets established and then starts trying to buy a house. And that's if he stays here and doesn't go to college.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been looking at like oil fields in Texas. Like Texas might just like pull him in. He's got a lot of dreams, right?
Which is great.
It is.
But we want to redevelop Indiana and put it back into our own state.
But if I was to look at him as like ROI for our community, I was like, nope, he's a risk. That's a risk-taking situation. But I look at a veteran moving to Indiana like yourself, right? And you're a force multiplier. Like instantly, your dollars are felt in that community. In addition to being an influencer into anything that you want to provide your services to, right? Because I have also learned that veterans are easily bored.
And they get out there and want to do something.
They're used to having a very full life with limited sleep.
Yeah. What is it, Red Bull and nicotine? They're good to go. Yeah. I mean, it is true. It really is. Yeah. I've tried to switch to water more often nowadays. A little healthier.
I tried that. It didn't take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cheers to that.
I love it. No, I think it's great. I think we've literally hit on so many important things, and I really hope people watch this entire episode, and we'll air it out there for sure, and it'll be both on Spotify and YouTube on our channels, but we'll reshare it. But there's so much that we can elaborate on. We could be here for hours. We can talk forever.
I think this could go on for another 6. Yeah. You have to put it into a 12-part segment.
I mean, please invite me back. Some things that I would still love to talk to you about is, the challenge in education. Right. I would love to talk about how education institutions, what they're doing right in the veteran space, but what they could be doing better. Specifically, credit for prior learning, those joint service transcripts, how INvets, really starts connecting all of these resources to veterans and their family to bring stability. So any time that you wanna go down another rabbit hole, bring me with you, and I'll be happy to come on and.
Absolutely. We're always looking for good episodes. And so if people even put comments down of what they'd want us to talk about, since we have Kelly who has the knowledge of all things in Indiana and connections, which is fantastic. Like even when we were driving here today, we're like, oh, we got to talk to her about this and this and this, even after the podcast. So we're going to still pick your brain, of course.
Yeah.
But
shout out to the veteran community. Yeah. Because if you guys didn't teach me, I would not have known. So it took you guys as a collective and saying yes to all of my curiosities and all of my questions, and even the hard ones.
Right.
So like everybody that I've, been in contact with that still keeps on picking up the phone, which is all of you, right?
One thing, even if it's midnight, we're like, what's up? Is it really important?
Yeah. I mean, I just appreciate that on a professional level, also just a personal level, because those types of connections, I think, are only learned in certain environments.
Right.
And it's an environment in which you guys came from, and it's one that's super appealing to the civilian world.
Oh yeah, because we open up almost instantly when we meet someone, and we're comfortable with them, because we had to be thrown into a mix with people that we didn't know, and they became our work family because we were living in the same town. And we didn't have family around.
Oh yeah, we became instant friends.
Oh yeah,
I was like, I have these things, and you're like, I do these things, and I was like, do you want our things to go in the same bucket?
We just become best friends.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we
are
like
the Step Brothers room.
I'll take the top bunk.
We have so much more room for activities.
So many.
I know, it really did. It was an instant connection. When someone connects with civilian or a veteran, it doesn't matter. That is what makes partnerships and relationships special.
And you want that in a team.
Right.
So you want that in a team. So in future episodes, I don't know when you'll bring me back, but I hope you do.
We will.
Right?
We will.
And I hope you both bring me back. But truly, keep your doors open to civilians. Civilians, come on. We need to not be nervous, right? And ask those questions.
And if there's civilian companies or civilians out there that want to talk with us, they can reach out to James or I at any time. I mean, our emails are very simple. It's Victoria@INvets.org and James@INvets.org. Yeah. So it's not really hard, and we will come and meet you where you're at. That's our whole thing, is meeting veterans and spouses and employers where they're at and sitting down and having those conversations to get their team veteran ready.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe that. And I know this to be true. Right. This happened. You are doing this work minute by minute, hour by hour, and engagement and personalization from the both of you is just the utmost priority. And
we have a great team. We would love to grow even more. So people want to sponsor too. Keep growing, get more people.
And I think, and going back to, I know we said this was over. It's never over.
Never over.
But talking about sponsorships, there are so many veteran organizations out there. It almost becomes overwhelming on what ones to donate to. I have to tell you that if you believe in this mission and this cause and everything that we talked about today and the direction that they're going, this is the 501c3 that you want to put your dollars in. This is a group of people that will make you feel like you're part of a community. You will actually see where your dollars go.
Right, because they could be coming right back to you with pipelines and in your communities, and you're local.
Yeah, and that, that is where, if I want to go see a veteran that I know that has been a product of INvets, I just need to go to a county.
Right.
I can be here today. I can walk out of this podcast room and you'll be like, oh, that's my veteran over there. Right.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, perfect.
We're statewide. We brought in 625 veterans to Indiana last year.
Yeah. That's a graduating class. Yeah. Of a medium-sized high school. Let's put that in perspective.
We brought all of those bodies and dollars into the state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Throughout the entire state.
You're graduating classes. Yeah. Right?
We're bringing all that talent and their families.
Oh, yeah. And veterans don't just have one kid. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Normally it's a couple.
So
I stopped it too.
And that is mediocre. Those are rookie numbers.
I know, right? Most men have more kids. I'm just kidding.
Wait, where are we? No. There you go.
So kind of sticking with what you said, partnerships. Partnerships are important to us, and I know we keep saying donate it, give us money, but I think the most important part of that is relationship, right?
Yeah.
It can't, a partnership doesn't go just one way. It's
not transactional. We want it transformational where we're both
Yes.
growing together and
I
walking
yeah.
side by
yeah.
side.
So
yes.
so I guess I just spent too much time with you guys. Like if,
We all know.
No,
right?
yeah.
Like like I'm just like I have give you my time, I'll give you my money, and now we have a friendship. So like
Yeah.
like I thought it was like an all-in-one thing. We
Yeah.
should have been very clear.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're signing up for the whole like
You get the whole package. The
all
whole
of
friendship
our,
with
all
us.
of our crazy antics.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
We'll definitely make you laugh.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like
Oh, yes.
the veteran sense of humor. You could just bring me out. We could just pack a room for the
Be like a
veterans.
comedy show. We all just have a around the table and
Yeah,
it'll be awesome.
no children, earmuffs.
Yeah.
oh,
earmuffs.
so many earmuffs.
We have to
All right.
get that one cleared. But yes, no, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Kelly, so much for being
Yeah.
here. And James, and I'm just so glad that we're all starting this and continuing our journey together. So hopefully you'll see us on the next podcast and we will go from there. Bye.
Until next time.
Until next time.
INvets is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to helping transitioning service members and their families find great careers and communities here in Indiana.
The way we usually connect with veterans is in-person events. They are assigned to a case manager, which is one of the 5 veteran engagement managers who are located in 5 regions around Indiana. They'll really work hard to connect with them. And then they complete the profile in more detail about the types of careers they want, the skills they have, where they might live, do they have a spouse. So it's a very personal service. And we try to match them with the right career. We try to match them with the right community.
We take our job seriously, understanding that we're not selling somebody a thing. We're helping somebody move into the next phase of their life. That's not lost on us.
We are not moving one person, we're moving a whole family, and every member of that family has a different need. We try to have those open discussions about everything.
So what we realized was just helping somebody find a job when they get out of the military isn't enough. There's got to be more to it than that, especially if we want to create lifelong Hoosiers. So we started thinking about what can we do outside of helping people find great careers to get them connected to their community. Transition is not transactional, it's transformational. And it's something that we talk with our staff about all the time. We cannot look at transition out of the military as a transaction of leaving one job and going to another. It's a transformational moment in somebody's life, and we hope and believe that should be Indiana. So once they're here, we remind them that we're here for life. So if there's anything that you need once you've gotten here, you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, a way to get involved in your community, or you just need some resources,
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. INvets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. INvets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about INvets, visit us at invets.org today.